The following is a class on the Nectar of Devotion, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on the 23rd of October 1972 in Vrindavan, India.
So, there are three kinds of devotional stages. Kanishtadikar, lower stage, and the Madhyamadikar, middle stage, and Uttamadikar. So, the Kanishtadikar means Achayamevang harai japjang sadhyahate natad bhaktishu channeshu sabhakta prakita smita. In the lower stage, the devotee is engaged in deity worship. It is not that deity worship is lower than meditation. We don't mean that. Deity worship is the beginning of devotional service. As usually mentioned in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, how to approach the deity, how to cleanse the floor, how to change the dress, flower, how to make aratrik, everything in detail there are. So, in the beginning, certainly, one who is not advanced, he cannot see Krishna properly. Krishna, when we speak of Krishna, Krishna is not alone. Just that if we speak of king, the king is coming. It does not mean the king is coming alone. The king is coming, his ministers, his secretaries, his military commanders, his queens, his servants, so many other servitors of the king, they are also coming. Similarly, when we speak of Krishna, Krishna does not mean alone Krishna. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasya prabhava. Krishna is the root of all emanations. Krishna's energies, Krishna's expansion, Krishna's different types of energies, Parasya Shakti Vividhaiva Sriyate. He has got multi-energies, out of which the Acharyas have taken three principal energies: the external energy, the internal energy, the marginal energy. Krishna's incarnation, expansion, all together means Krishna. So, the Kanishtadikari in the lower stage, he thinks that he is worshipping the deity very nicely. He has realized Krishna. No. Natad bhakteshu channeshu sabhakta prakita smita. We have to make further advancement. Krishna does not mean alone. Especially Krishna's devotees. They are always with Krishna. Therefore, when we can recognize a devotee of Krishna and offer him the respect as devotee of Krishna, That is further advancement. In the Madhyamadikaya, or in further advancement of devotional service, one can see 4 categories. Ishara tadavineshu balisheshu disassu cha prema maitri kripa pekkha sabhakta madhyama. Isha, when we are further advanced, we do not see only Krishna, but we see his devotees also. We can recognize here is a pure devotee of Krishna. But in the lower stage, the devotee is concerned with the deity worship, but he does not take much care of the devotees. But when one is advanced further, he can see Krishna and his devotee also. Ishara tad adhina. Tad adhina means devotees. Devotees are always under the service of Krishna. So anyone who is giving service to Krishna, we should take care of them also. We should offer our respects. And you'll find in Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu, it is stated somewhere that if a devotee is coming, then another devotee who is engaged in worship of the deity may stop deity worship for the time being and should go immediately to receive the devotee. So, Krishna also says, Mad Bhakta Puja Adhika. Krishna is satisfied more when a devotee worships his devotee. Krishna says, if one is worshipping me and one is worshipping my devotee, then the person who is worshipping the devotee is more important than the person who is worshipping Krishna. Therefore in the Gurvashta by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, it is said there, Jasya prasadad bhagavat prasad. Jasya prasadad bhagavat prasad, jasya aprasadad nagati kutopi. The best devotee is the spiritual master. Unless one is devotee, pure devotee, how you can be spiritual master? Spiritual master means representative of God. So who can become representative of God? Unless he is 24 hours engaged in the service of God, Krishna, how he can be spiritual master? This is also explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sakshad Haritena Samasta Shastrai. The spiritual master is described as good as Hari, the Supreme Personality of God. Because the spiritual master is representative of Krishna because he is most confidential servant of Krishna. Kintu Prabhu ja priya evatas jasya sakshad haritena samasta shastrai ruktas tatha bhav bataiva sadbhi. The spiritual master is worshipped as good as the Supreme Person. Sakshad haritena. This is not artificial, but in all the Shastras, this is recommended. Sakshad haritena samasta shastrai ruktas tatha bhav bataiva sadbhi. Those who are learned, devotees, advanced devotees, they also accept this, that spiritual master should be treated as good as Hari, the Supreme Person. Why? But the spiritual master does not think himself as Hari. Although he is offered the respect of Hari, he thinks himself as humble servant of Hari and all others. A spiritual master takes his devout disciples as his spiritual master. That is the position. He thinks that Krishna has sent me so many spiritual masters. He does not think himself as spiritual master. He thinks himself their servant because they are to be trained. Krishna has appointed him to train them. Therefore, he thinks himself as the servant of the disciples. This is the position. So, when one is advanced, he can see the importance of devotee. Advanced devotee never disobey or disrespect another devotee. Disrespect to another devotee is a great offense. Vaishnava aparad. Vaishnava aparad is very serious offense. Therefore we teach to address amongst the devotees, Prabhu, Prabhu, such and such Prabhu. This should not be simply spoken by the lips, it should be realized. Everyone should think other devotee as his Prabhu, master. Not he should try to become master. Tinadapi sunichena, taroropi sahisnuna, amanina manadena. Manadena, we should be always ready to offer respect to all, not only devotees, but everyone. Everyone. Because every living entity is originally a devotee of Krishna. But circumstantially, being covered by the coat of Maya, he is playing like demon. But his original nature is a devotee of Krishna. Jiver Swarup hoy Nitya Krishna Das. Everyone is eternally servant of Krishna. But being influenced by Maya, when he gets this body given by Maya, Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa, when he is conducted by the three gunas of Maya, he thinks himself otherwise. He thinks himself independent of Krishna. But actually nobody is independent of Krishna. I have given this example that the prisoners, the criminals in the jail, they go to jail thinking themselves to be independent of the state laws, outlaws. A criminal thinks, I don't care for the state laws. But after all, for his activities, criminal activities, he is put into the jail. So, at that time he is forced to obey the state laws. Outside the state laws, he disobeyed. But within the prison, he is forced by punishment. Similarly, those who are defying the authorities of the Supreme Lord, they are all criminals and they are being punished by Durga Devi. Chaiva jasya bhuvanani vibharti Durga. So, nobody is independent of the laws of Krishna. Everyone is under the obligation of the laws of the Krishna. But one is voluntarily accepting and one is whimsically rejecting. Rejecting means to be under the control of Maya am voluntarily accepting the service of the Lord means to be under the protection of spiritual energy. Daivi prakriti masrita. In the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Mahatmanastu mang prartha daivi prakriti masrita. Those who are Mahatma, they are under the protection of the spiritual energy. And those who are not Mahatmas, Duratmas, they are under the protection of the material energy. And the living entity is called marginal energy because he has to remain under the control or under the supervision of one of these two energies, material energy and spiritual energy. And he can select whether to remain under the control of material energy or under the control of spiritual energy. Therefore he is called marginal. The living entity's position is marginal, in between the two energies. So he can select. So Krishna therefore comes to canvass that you are working under material energy. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa ahankaro vimuratma karta aham iti mannate. Those who are under the material energy, they are pulled by the ear of the person by the material energy. Brahman sarvabhutani jantra rudhani mayaya. Jantra rudhani. This body is a jantra, is a automobile, mechanical car. Just like we are placed on the motor car and the driver moves us in different places. Similarly, according to our karma, we are given a certain type of body. Cat's body, dog's body, human body, this body, that body, 8,400,000 species. So we are moving. Brahman sarvabhutani, jantra rudhani maya. So actually we are under the control of the material nature. But ahankaro vimura atma, those who are fools and rascals, they are thinking, I am independent, I am God, I don't care for God, this or that. Sorry. So, this is called motichanna, madness. The Vaishnava Kavi says therefore, Pisachi paile jano motichanna hoy, mayagrasta jiber sei dasha upoyo. Just like when a man is ghostly haunted, Bengal it is called bhute power, and he speaks nonsense. Even his father is before him. He wants to attack his father without any respect. Madman, crazy. So anyone under this protection of the material energy, more or less crazy, more or less. It is not only our word, it is scientifically true. I know there was one case, a man was condemned to death and his pleader presented that this man was insanity condition, therefore he committed this act, he may be excused. So, a civil surgeon was invited to examine him whether actually he was insanity condition. The civil surgeon gave evidence that so far he had treated so many patients, he saw everyone is more or less crazy. Under the circumstances, if this man is crazy, that depends on your judgment what to do. But in my opinion, Every man is a crazy man. So this is a fact. This is a fact. Anyone who is under the control of the material energy, he is a crazy man. He is thinking, I am this, I am that, I am this, I am American, I am Indian, I am Hindu, I am Muslim, I am so and so and so many things. But he is nothing, all of this. These are all creation of Maya. Just like if I am sitting on a certain type of motor car, does it mean I am that motor car? If I am support, I am sitting on a Rolls-Royce motor car. If I say I am Rolls-Royce, is that my identification? No, actually. And this is a fact. If a man is driving a very nice car and in his front there is a thela wala, I have seen it. The driver says, "Hey thela," as if that man has become thela. And he has become motor. So, actually this is a fact. Pisachi paile janamoti channa. Neither is thela, nor is motor car. He is living entity, pure living entity. Therefore in Bhagavad Gita it is said, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. When actually is self-realized that I am not American, not Indian, not Hindu, not Muslim, not man, not woman. I am spirit soul, Aham Brahmasmi. At that time he does not lament. Na sochati na kant. We are fighting with one another, lamenting and hankering due to this misidentification of the self with this body. Jasya buddhi kunapeti dhatuke sadhik kalatra disubhavamaijyadi jat tirtha buddhi salile na karhichir saeva gokhara. The Bhagavad says that any person who is misidentifying himself with this body, kunapeti dhatuke jasya atma buddhi, this body is made of three dhatus, kapha, pitta, vayu. And if we identify that I am kapha, pitta, vayu, then certainly he is a gokhara, is nothing more than a cow and an ass. So, the bhakti, devotional service begins when one is actually self-realized. Before that, savhakta prakita smitaha. Anyone who has got the identification of this body, he is engaged in deity worship, but he does not actually realize his self. He does not know who is a devotee, and he does not know his duty to other persons. He remains a prakita bhakta. Prakita bhakta means he is situated on the material platform, but under the direction of spiritual master, under the direction of the Shastra, he is trying to improve his condition of material existence. That is called prakita bhakta. Svabhakta prakita smita. So, we should not remain perpetually a prakita bhakta. We must improve. Madhyam bhakta. Madhyam bhakta means he knows what is God, what is Krishna. He knows what is Krishna's devotee. He knows the people in general, and he knows the atheistic person. Four categories of persons manifest before him. It is not that they artificially, if we say that in my view everyone is the same, that is of course higher stage, Pandita Samadarshana. But we should not imitate that stage, because we are in the neophyte state. We should not imitate the vision of Mahabhagavad. Mahabhagavad does not see anyone non-devotee. He sees everyone better devotee than himself. Just like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. he writes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Purisher kit hoite muise logist, Jagai madhai hoite muise papist. So he is not pretending. Actually, a Bhagavad thinks like that. I am the lowest. But he is the highest. One who thinks like that, humble. Tinadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahisnuna, amanina manade. He wants to give respect to everyone, but he doesn't expect any respect for himself. That is Mahabharata. And if one wants respect for him, that means he is still in Kanishta. The Mahabharata is ready to give respect to even to the end. And for himself, he doesn't want any respect. That is Mahabharata. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches, Tinadapi sune chena, tarorapi sahisnuna, amanina. For himself, he doesn't require any respect. Manadena. But he is ready to give respect to everyone, even to the end. That is Mahabharata. So, generally, we are in the lower stage of devotional service. Just like generally people come to offer respect to the deities in the temple, but one does not know how to give respect to the devotee, how to help others to become devotee. They are in the lower stage. A devotee should not only give respect to the devotees, but he should try to make others a devotee. That means preaching. Preaching. The preaching, what is the meaning of this preaching? People are engaged in material activities, and the preacher should approach them that you are spoiling your time, my dear sir, you become devotee of Krishna. This is preaching. You are simply spoiling, you have got this human form of life, but you are utilizing like animals, eating, sleeping, mating and defending. You may be very great political leader, but your engagement is like animal. That is the fact. What these politicians do, they make arrangement for eating, sleeping, mating and defending. That's all. They promise that I shall give you nice eating. You give me vote. I make me minister of food. I shall give you enough food. Or so many things they falsely promise or rightly promise, they know. So, actually, a minister or minister's father cannot give you food. The food is supplied by Krishna. Eka bahunam vidadhati kama. So, anyway, the Kanishtadikari is just learning how to become devotee, and he is by regulative principles engaged in deity worship, and gradually he is raised to the platform of Madhyamadikari. And Madhyamadikari means he knows what is the position of God, Krishna, what is the position of devotee, what is the position of people in general, and what is the position of an atheist. Atheist there are. So, Ishara Tadadhin, or the devotees, Ishara Tadadhina Balisha. Balisha means innocent person. And Ishara Tadadhina Balisha, Dishasu. Dishat means envious. There are many persons you have experienced. As soon as they hear something about God, they become immediately irritated. That is called Dishasu, demon. So a Madhyamadikari devotee can see these four kinds of persons. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, his devotees, and innocent persons, and the atheist class demons. So he treats all these four classes. So he Ishara Tadadesha Prema. He tries to love God. He sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore his business with the Supreme Personality of Godhead is how to increase his love for the Supreme Person. This is one business of the Madhyamadika. And how to make friendship with the devotees. Loving God, Krishna, and making friendship with devotees. Not to become envious of the devotee, but to make friendship. If the devotee is Uttamadikari, he should take lessons from him. If he is equal, then he should make friendship with him. And if he is lower, he should try to help him to become higher devotee. This is the business of devotee. Ishara tadodhineshu baliseshu disashu. Ishara, to love Krishna. How to increase? Jato bhakti adho khaje. Simply to increase. How I can better service to Krishna. This is one business. The another business is to make friendship. Anyone who is devotee to make friendship with. And other balisheshu, those who are innocent, those who are not offender, but innocent person, just like child, simple. They should preach amongst them Krishna consciousness, because they are innocent. And those who are bishop, demons, simply against God, they should avoid them. Avoid them. Don't go there for preaching, neither to love them. Of course, everyone should be loved, but according to the time and circumstances. So, for a preacher who is trying to do good to the innocent persons, one who does not know how to love God, what is God, a preacher's business is to teach him, and not to waste his time with the demons, one who is not interested in the matter of God. But when you are raised to the first platform of devotional service, then there is no more disas, no more friend, no more disas. Everyone, a Mahabhagavad says, everyone is engaged in the service of the Lord, except myself. That is Mahabhagavad vision. But we should not imitate that. That I was giving the example of Chaitanya Charitamrita author Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. He is speaking that Jagai Madhai haite mui se papist, Puri se kit haite mui se log. He is not imitating, or he is speaking falsely. He feels like that. A Mahabhagavad feels like that. That I am the lowest. Just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung, Amara jivan sada pape rata nahi ko punnera lesh. He says like that, that my life is always engaged in sinful activities. I am not a trace of pious activity. Amara jivana sada pape rata nahi ko punnera lesh. I have given so much distress to all other living entities. He is representing common man, but he is feeling like that. It is not that artificially speaking. He is feeling like that. Just as Radharani, she thinks always herself as the lowest of the devotees. She thinks always. She sees always that the gopis, other gopis, they are better qualified to serve Krishna. And she is not qualified, so much qualified. Therefore in Vrindavan you will find the devotees approach Radharani, Jai Radhe. Because if Radharani advocates for him to Krishna, it is very easily accepted. And Radharani says, if Radharani is pleased, then he represents the devotee's case, that here is a devotee, he is better than me, can you accept his service? Krishna. The Krishna cannot deny. So, Mahabhava, Radharani is Mahabhava. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed that Mahabhava. That Mahabhava is not possible for ordinary man. It is especially prerogative of Srimati Radharani, and who played the part of Radharani, although he is Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Mahabhava, the ecstasy, that is not to be imitated by us, but to be aware of this fact that how Mahabhava they treat with Krishna. So generally, advancement, especially those who are preachers, they should remain on the second platform. Even a Mahabhagavat, when he becomes preacher, he comes down to the second platform. He does not remain on the topmost platform. He plays the part of second platform. Sometimes it is stated in the Bible, I think, that Jesus Christ said, I had many things to say, but I am not saying. Is it not? So actually, the Mahabhagavat, he has many things to say, but because he is preacher, he does not say everything to the neophyte devotees, because they are not competent to accept that. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the best example is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is Krishna himself, but he is playing the part of Mahabhagavat. He never discussed Krishna's Raslila public. Never discussed. You won't find any time that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is discussing Raslila publicly. No, never. He simply dealt with ordinary person by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, and whenever there are scholars, there are philosophers, just like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Prakashananda Saraswati, he talks with some philosophy, Vedanta Sutra, and when there was high-class devotee like Ramananda Rai, he discussed about Krishna's Leela. You will find this. Not that with everyone he discussed Krishna's Leela. No. Neither he discussed philosophy with everyone. But for the general public, so long he remained at Jagannath Puri, every evening he was simply organizing great Sankirtan party. And for 4 hours at least, he was going on Sankirtan and 4 parties. We have studied this thing from Chaitanya Charitamrita or teachings of Lord Chaitanya, that from the dealings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because although he is Krishna himself, he is playing the part of Acharya, he is playing the part of devotee. Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namini Gauratriseno Bhaktyakkham Bhaktavatarang Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Panchatattmatmakam Krishna. So, we should follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the 6 Goswamis, and gradually let us learn what is devotional service, how to execute it. Everything is very nicely explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which we have presented herewith as the nectar of devotion, the complete science for the Bhakti Yoga. So, first of all, we should take advantage of these granthas and then gradually make progress. Narottam Das Thakur therefore said that Kabe hama bujhava se jugalati rupa raghunatho pade hoibe akuti Kabe hama bujhava se jugalati. Without understanding Rupa Raghunath or without going through the literatures given by Rupa Raghunath, if we jumpingly all of a sudden try to become a devotee of Radha Krishna, of course our aim is to become devotee of Radha Krishna, but how to become Radha Krishna, we must study these books, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu especially. Thank you very much.